Hey, what's up, folks? It's me, Sonny T, and welcome to another podcast for marketers exclusive. Today is Real Talk Tuesday. I'm skipping the intro. I'm actually really busy right now, and I'm going to update you guys with a few things that I'm doing. Real Talk Tuesday, sometimes I bring like actionable steps, and sometimes, in other instances, like on my podcast, I would talk about your mindset, right? So today, I always put this in this corner, your social media marketing agency. This is not actionable steps, so you can just hop off of this right now. It's not for that. Today is really an update for my squad and for just people that give a shit, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is I did post up a really cool post today, and it was a story kind of seriously close to my heart, right? And I'll never forget it. I told a story about how, I used to hustle when I was younger. I was okay hustler. I met a guy years ago. His name was Randy. Okay. And he used to, and I was really young. He was a little bit older than me. I think I was 18 or 21 years old, somewhere around that time there, right? So he used to take me around and teach me how to hustle, and I had a little cell phone hustle, and I used to install car stereos, and he used to take me downtown Los Angeles, right? And we would buy car stereos really cheap, and then when you go outside of, downtown LA into the suburbs, you could, put an extra $100 on those car stereos and install them or just sell them to people that did installs and stuff like that. And Randy really showed me how to hustle that way. And we had a couple of friends that used to hustle that way and sell jewels. Now, you need to look at the whole post to get the whole story. But I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, that, hey, man, I wish that I could be, a hustler like those. And she goes, man, listen, you're like a Superman. I've never really seen anybody able to get what they wanted as much as you have. And I says, well, why don't I have $1 million yet? And she says, well, and she thought about it for a second, and she says, well, I guess because you don't want it yet. And it really stuck me in the gut, man. Seriously, it gut shot me, right? Even at such a young age. I don't think I was quite 20 years old at that point. I might have been a little bit older than that. But it hit me in the gut, like, damn, that was right. I've always been in tune with, like realness in my life, right? And I wanted to bring that to you here on Real Talk Tuesday. And I don't always talk about, like I said, mindset, but what I want to let you guys know, okay, is that when you're working here on the internet, and I'm giving you all of these actionable steps, if you're not in the right mindset, you're not going to do any of it, okay? So, and I know you see a lot of people on the internet, and they're always like, you got to want it as much as you want to breathe, and blah, blah, blah. And, a lot of dudes are hollering and screaming and saying a lot of shit, that kind of like cliche shit. And some of it is cliche, but it doesn't make it any less true. So, how bad do you really want your SMMA? Because I see a lot of guys that make excuses. One dude even posted up in my forum, he was basically saying that he got lonely, from trying to get on a serious grind, and he was like, man, I got lonely after a while because I turned off my phone and I didn't have friends and this and that and the other. Well, I want to let you know that at the moment that you start getting lonely, and now Jorge, it's a new Jorge that just joined the group. If you're watching this, Jorge, hey, thanks for hollering and coming to the group, man. I just wanted to give you guys a shout out. All the recent members that just came to my group, I want to give you guys a massive shout out, man. I mean, fuck, you guys been like piling in like 20 at a time. It's kind of crazy how many people have been coming to the group. But Jorge says, hey, man, I want to start my own social media marketing agency. I really want to quit my job. He goes, man, I'm just tired of going to my work. He says, I actually made up some shit so I can quit working for a week. So, Jorge, how bad do you really want it, right? All of you guys out there, right? How bad do you really want it? So the first thing I told Jorge was, well, if you have a week off and you really want to make this work, you need to make 1,000 phone calls, cold calls. Okay? You need to send out 10,000 emails, cold emails, with follow-ups, with a drip follow-up. Because not everybody is going to answer you. That's not fuck you, that's follow-up. Right? And then you need to beat the street. If you really want it that bad, right, you need to beat the street, right? So after here's how my, first of all, my 10,000 emails, this is exactly what I would do in this case. And this is what you call hacking, and you're going to get it. So if you really want this, you're going to make 1,000 phone calls. Now, you're going to make, I told you guys before, 100 phone calls before noon. Okay, 100 before noon, right? So then, in the afternoon, I would even leave, right? Because you'll have a bunch of messages or leads. Then I would leave and I would start door-to-door cold calling. And what I mean by that is walking right into a business and just do a walk-in. And I would try to schedule, let's see, afternoon, let's see, 1. So go have lunch at 1, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I would try to do 1 an hour until 4 o'clock. So that's 4 walk-ins. Okay? By 4 p.m. Go back home. You'll be back home by 5 p.m. More calls. All right, there'll be some people that don't close at 5 o'clock, right? So I'm going to get in 100 more phone calls. Now, let me tell you what else I would do, right? I'm going to do a voice blast. Okay? And what this voice blast, just look it up, a voice broadcast. Go look it up. I'm going to do, learn how to spell, Sonny. I'm going to do a voice broadcast, and I'm just going to leave messages on the voicemail. You can program it to only leave messages on the voicemail at night, right? And I'm going to probably blast somewhere in the area of 5,000 numbers a night. A day. All right, so if you're going to do something like this for an entire week, your voice blasting will cost you somewhere in the area of $1,200, right? So I believe so. I have to ask my business partner. So maybe you don't want to do so many. Let's voice blast 5,000 for the week. That's 1,000 a day, which isn't a whole lot, right? So, but I would set up the voice blast for 1,000 a day for people that are interested, okay? And check my messages when I came back home after 5 o'clock. Then I would also check my emails after I came home at 5 o'clock. Now, I would make more regular cold calls. Okay, now, after hours, at about 6, 7, or 8 o'clock, after 6, 7, or 8 o'clock, I would start answering emails. Okay? I would listen to my voice messages and schedule my whip for tomorrow, which would mean that you probably have appointments and you have another 200 phone calls, and you need to blast another 1,000 phone calls, and you need to send out how many ever emails that you needed to send out, but you already sent out like 10,000, right? You should be able to purchase emails like that. So you already sent out 10,000, so you need to be fielding calls or fielding your emails, okay, and setting appointments. Now, this is what I would do every day for a week. I would beat myself up, man. And if you don't think that you're going to have, and remember, you got to do, excuse me, I forgot, we need to do our 5 walk-ins, okay? Now, that's what I would be doing every day this week that I took off of work to try to get a client. I would be talking to everybody I possibly knew. I would be walking into every restaurant asking to talk to every manager. I would be walking into hotels. I would be talking to everybody and calling everybody. And your whole life needs to be consumed right now with trying to work online. That's the mindset. How bad do you want it? Action talks and bullshit walks a fucking mile, man. If you really want it, you got to get on the phones, man, and you have to taste it. You have to fucking smell it. You have to breathe it. You have to live it. If you really want it, Jorge, if you really want your social media marketing agency to work, man, then you have to be 100 times better than everybody else out here that wants a fucking social media marketing agency. They have 100 more people calling them up. They have 1,000 people emailing them. And every kid at the age of fucking 15 right now is approaching them to be their fucking social media marketer dude. Right? So what you have to do is you have to go over and beyond. You have to go call that restaurant and say, hey, man, I'm sitting in your fucking restaurant right now having lunch, dude. Give me 5 minutes, man. You have to have your laptop right there and show them what problems that you see with their website and go ahead and go at it, man. You have to get in people's faces, man. You have to get out there and you have to beat the street every day, man. How bad do you want it, man? When my girlfriend told me that I guess you don't want it yet, man, remember, that was probably 20-something years ago she said that. I didn't make $1 million until way after she even told me that because I didn't really want it. Clearly. But I can tell you the day that I woke up, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I just woke up, I sat up in the middle of the bed, I clapped my hands really loud, scared the shit out of my wife, and I said, all right, let's get to work. That's exactly what I said. Let's get to work. That's what I told my wife. And you know what the exact 2 words that I told her? No bullshit. And when I say this, she'll know that I'm telling you the truth. She's sitting right here. I told her, I'm ready. Yep. Is that what I said? Yep. That was my exact words. I'm ready.
And I knew what you meant.
And she knew exactly what I meant. Now, I want you to keep in mind that we had been doing nothing for like the last couple years. Really lazy, not working. We had just paid cash for our home. I didn't have to do anything. I sat up in the middle of the bed at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I said, I'm ready. Let's get to work. She got up, she made a cup of coffee, and we haven't stopped working since. Because I was ready. And I wanted it. And I kept telling her, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. Didn't I keep telling you that?
Yeah.
I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting.
You started out saying, don't let me quit.
I started out saying, don't let me quit.
And then it changed.
And what did I say then after that?
I'm not quitting.
I'm not quitting. I wish I could give you guys what's inside of me the way I felt that day when I woke up and said, I want to get this $1 million, right? I want you guys to have that. Now, this isn't, the regular Real Talk Tuesday actionable steps and how to make money with affiliate marketing, and I get that. And I'm probably going to get 1,000 thumbs downs for that, right? Probably so. Because this isn't the stuff that you guys want to hear. This is the shit that's real, man. This is what Real Talk Tuesday is all about, man. when you really want it and when you're ready, right? You're going to feel it in your gut and you're going to go get it. Because do you really want it? Or did somebody just sell you a fucking dream and you think you want it? Because if you really did, there would be no excuses. Coffee break.